So we got the man behind doing the show.
Right. Yep. The men.
The men.
It's, yeah. Darren and Nick.
Self-inflicted.
Collab. Self-inflicted. We've been doing the show for a long time now. I originally started the show in Dallas, Texas, and
well, how did it come about?
well, actually, it all started when I was in a band. It was called Beyond Hope, and we started doing shows out in Texas, and we had a little cafe out there called Cafe Cider, and with Group McDaniel.
Cafe Cider, I mean, was that like, what, an internet cafe? Or
yeah, it was like an internet cafe.
Was it all coffee? Could you get beer, like vodka?
Yeah, it was all like, it was all coffee. And,
so you're all about business.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good time. It was like, we had a venue, we would go out, we would do shows, and I decided to put together this little project where we bring in bands from like all around the world.
Really?
So like, yeah, we had Dasik and Confidence with Intel and Fixer. Most all industrial bands.
What was the craziest location you guys ever got a band from?
Well, Germany, definitely.
Definitely. Like an industrial German? Like
German industrial band. We had a band from England contact us. We had a cafe, and we did kind of like a small little intimate venue. And what we did was we actually posted our website onto this board of all these places or venues that people would look up whenever they want to do like a full US tour.
Okay.
And we ended up putting our venue up that I think in like, I wonder if like anybody's ever going to hit us up. It was a very small little coffee shop, but it turned out that like all these bands from like around the world and within the US, they would contact us and they'd say, hey, we want to come out and play this coffee shop.
Right.
You know, like, I was in a band and I was swinging from change or playing keyboard. We'd have like a dominatrix and all this other kind of stuff like going on.
Dominatrix.
Yeah, and we posted all these pictures and people were like, you know what, that's some crazy stuff you got going down in this little coffee shop.
So, in the coffee shop, I mean, what was the most like kick-ass time? Like, what was the craziest?
I gotta tell you, we had this
that you
band.
Can share anyway.
Well, we had this band. They were called Apocalypse Theater.
Okay.
They were actually a gypsy industrial band, and they would like come out and they do a whole fire act, and they had a few people that like grew up in the circus. They would come out and they did this most amazing show.
It was like some Jim Rose type.
I wouldn't say short. No.
No.
I mean, it's like definitely industrial sort of like genre. But the thing was that I didn't stop it at industrial music. I as a matter of fact, if you can already tell, like tonight, we kept things very eclectic.
Right.
We like a lot of different genres. The thing about the show, the Self-Inflicted show, when Nick and I we get together, we're like, you know what? We want to put on something fun. We want to put on something sexy, and we definitely want to like have like rock and roll. We want women, and we want alcohol. We put on a show that's like a party that we want to show up to.
Yeah, that's kind of the essential elements of having a band in the first place.
Absolutely.
If I had a band, it would be. Yeah.
I've been in a band a long time, and I got to tell you, the key elements are rock and roll, music, women. And you know what? The thing is that we want to provide a show that sells that sort of balance.
Well, I think you guys sold it well tonight. I mean,
I think it was a good night.
You know, when you guys playing your next show?
I don't know yet. I mean, we've been talking about doing like maybe a fashion show. You know, we just talking about doing another self-inflicted show. Yeah.
The next thing's going to be on a little bit more of a larger scale. We want to get basically. I mean, the original idea that when we sat down, we were like, hey, what do we want to do on Tuesday night, whatever.
Right.
So like, what are the elements that we would like to see if we were going to be guests?
Yeah, absolutely. What would those elements be?
Right. So we were like, okay, how can we incorporate these three things we discussed? You know.
Sure.
So we're like, cool, let's gather all these things together, got a bunch of our friends, rock out. Then we're like, cool, well this was fun. on a larger scale, what more would we like to do?
Right.
Not only do we like music, but there's also all sorts of other forms of art which we both partake in and like to indulge. And so we decided that we want to do a much larger scale, get a little more of those other elements in place.
What would be the chief inspirations in terms of art that you would say that necessarily bring forth your vision, like what you're trying to do? What inspires you?
Well, we discussed at one point possibly doing some kind of a screening for some kind of a local film type things. We both work on projects in that genre, so we're
right. Nice. Feel free to plug anything you're working on, by the way.
All right, we're working on Project 21 right now.
Yeah, that's the.
Well, how can the viewer find out about that? How can they,
right now, they won't be able to, unfortunately.
Yeah. This is kind of like
it's a
like kind of top secret sort of like project or whatever. It's
I kind of just told them.
Well, yeah, but the people,
we just tell a bunch of people, but we give them a working title.
Right. And the people that we're discussing, it has to be it's one of those things. It just has to be. But
we're all lying to you.
I know. But anyway, so
that's what's fun about being in Hollywood, though.
Well, you know what? The thing is that I will tell you this. Nick and I, we want to go out there and we want to entertain people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And with entertainment comes like we believe in
responsibility.
Balance. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. There's a responsibility to bring about a certain amount of balance.
Responsibility not to waste people's time.
Absolutely. I mean, when you come to a show, you're like, what do I want to see out of a show? And we think about it and we're like, well, what is the things that we like? Well,
right. Well, when we were discussing
we want it to be sexy. We want it to be hot. We want it to be rock and roll. We want it to be like, we want to be able to give an atmosphere where people can come out and they can, they can express themselves and what it is that they do.
Do it.
Do their fucking art and get a paycheck doing it.
Yeah, I mean, back to the original question about what kind of avenues are we trying to pursue. I mean, that was one of them, which was the whole film thing, and that was discussed between us. The other one that we wanted to get a big part of into was basically the fashion scene. Darren actually has a line that he works on.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I have a self-inflicted yes. I don't have a lot of male clothes, but I am wearing a self-inflicted.
Which is such a disappointment because we're gonna have very few.
Actually, it's all.
Again, I'm digging the cafe. I've got a few of them at home. Those are badass.
Yeah.
They split in Dubai, so I mean those.
We have a full line. As a matter of fact, if you go on to MySpace, Facebook, whatever, self-inflicted.
Yep.
I have full clothing line, mostly female clothes, and we have Bella out there.
Just dirty little items, but they're good.
Absolutely, American Apparel.
Girls wearing.
Bella through American Apparel, and then self-inflicted line, and it's something that we've been doing for like a while. And I got to tell you, it's really sexy outfits.
It's gonna be good. And anyway, so that's one of the things that we're gonna do. We're gonna have a lot of other different. We're gonna have art displays. We're gonna have awesome music. Just cool people. Similar situation, but bigger, badder, more rock, more sexy, and that's what we're doing.
And thank you guys for coming out today.
No, thank you.
That was an amazing show tonight. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you all for
amazing talent, by the way. I just want to say that everybody did an incredible job. Very sexy women on stage, and then we had Matt Beal come in at the end, and he was the sexy male that kind of like closed it all up. But
dude, the whole thing was hooked up. I mean, you guys were awesome for coming out and rocking like you did, and thank you guys for coming to bandom.com.
Awesome, bandom.com, definitely. Yeah,
check it out.
And we'll have to do this again.
Thank you.
And I'm looking forward to seeing more.
You guys are always invited to all of our shows.
Right on. We'll do this. Cool. All right. Where's my beer?
Thank you. We'll get you a beer downstairs.
Right on.
Say good night, Bando.
All right.
Yes.